category. Now let's go to railways. Now again, in part one, we talked about the semis being dependent upon diesel to carry supplies to you. Railways, most cargo, especially heavy cargo, moves by rails. You're talking 5 billion tons of cargo a year is moved, which is about 25 to 30% of all freight that is shipped. Now, the railroads are dependent upon diesel fuel. So, and which is the same as the semis. Semis depend upon diesel fuel. So if the power grid is down and they're not able to fuel those trains, there's no way that cargo is going to be able to move. And again, cyber attacks are claiming that they can break into transportation and they can bring that train system to a halt. And China's really bragging about being able to bring down transportation in our country. And I for one, believe they can do it. So I would say if you think the rail cars are coming and the semis are going to be running from there, if they cannot get diesel fuel to fuel either one, nothing's going to hit that road. And then they got to count on the roads being cleared for them to be able to get through. So with that, I will stop right there.
Yeah, I wanted to just a few facts to read off that, like you were saying, in 2023, U.S. railways moved nearly 1.8 billion metric tons of freight across the national rail network. This equates to about 2.8 18 trillion ton tons kilometers transported by rail in the U.S. in 2023. Railways account for approximately 28% of all U.S. freight moved by ton miles. So that's a lot. And one of the things too to consider right here, as we all live in Ohio, with Palestine, railways also carry hazardous material and toxic material. And so that's something that needs to be considered as well when it comes down to emergency situations. So I think one of the best things to do is to just once again know where the railways are in your area, because that could be potential hazardous issue in the future.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go back again to when we're talking about this transportation or relying on something. I don't want to jump ahead of where Aaron's going to go, but um, that railway situation should be figured out way before. Your thoughts should be about that way before time, because being able to have goods and services available to you and brought to you, you might as well tell yourself it's going to be impossible. And it may not be, but I'm telling. My thought is you prepare for the worst, and then you can make it through. So, I mean, going back to what our whole initial thing is about, me, I'm not even considering the railways for anything. I'm not considering a truck driving down 75 or 70 or 235. In my mind, that's completely shut down and completely over with. It's completely up to us at this point.
Right.
So, like I said, I don't want to jump too far ahead because I don't know where Aaron's going to go next. But I'm going to say this, and we can go on. Um, you need to have a railway in your community, from the house up the street down to your house, from the house in the cul-de-sac down to your house. You need to have a railway community of supplies and goods and help you can offer each other. And I'm gonna leave it right there.
Yeah. And I'm gonna
And
mention
I'll
one of.
chime in
Oh,
one
yeah.
more
Go
issue.
ahead. Go ahead.
One of the things about the railways and just the infrastructure in America, period, is that a lot of American infrastructure is antiquated. A
Mhm.
lot of American infrastructure is really behind most industrialized nations. When we look at the railway system in Europe, or when we look at it in China or any place like that, they have bullet trains while we have Amtrak. And so that's something to consider, because a lot of these trains are coming off the tracks because of them being antiquated. And so when you talk about that just-in-time system, that just-in-time system is excellent when everything is running smooth. But when things go off the rails, no pun intended, then that is where you run into a lot of issues of supply chain disruption. And with supply chain disruption, of course, you may have a higher prices at the on the shelves.
Yeah. And I'm going to bring out one other point for those that are old enough to remember this. When Ronald Reagan was in office, I don't know if people remembered how many looters were jumping on the back of the trains and was throwing out gym shoes and TVs and other things. I mean, trains are going to look like a big fat turkey to looters. And if there's a way they can slow them down so they can board them, the goods that are coming to your city may not even make it because it's going to be looted so heavily bad along the way. So people need to understand that will happen.